Hello?
Hello, hello.
Hello, John. How are you?
I am good, sir. How are you?
Let me do that too.
Ta-da! There you go.
Nice seeing your face.
Yes, it's a scary thing. I know.
No, it's not, man. You shouldn't say that. Well, welcome back to MetalKaoz. So happy to have you because you guys have recorded quite a record, right?
I think so. We're very happy with it. Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
And this will be the first ones through Silver Lining Music. So
Yeah, our new deal. They're really taking care of us. It's exciting. All good, definitely.
I was about to ask if for a band like Raven, who have been around almost half a century,
Yeah,
does it
next
make
year, 50 years.
does it make a difference if you have a new record deal? I mean, you know the ups and downs.
Yeah, we know the ups and downs. It's sometimes the other companies don't know the ups and downs, funnily enough.
Fair enough.
And, you know, you just need, the thing this band needs more than anything else and always has is exposure to people. You know, when we have the opportunity to, say, play a festival, or something like that, or even like the thing we did back in November with Metallica. There's a large portion of the audience may have heard our name, but they have no idea what we are. And of
Right.
course, putting us in front of people in a live situation, boom. And then, you follow that up with what the record company does or is supposed to do from then. So it's been a constant battle. But, we've been round the block, as you say, a number of times. And there's times in your career where you feel that you're not so much pushing the narrative as the narrative starts pushing you.
Right.
And that's kind of where we are right now, which is a really good place to be.
However, it was a little bit tough to get the album, especially the green one on vinyl. I had to order that, and I think it was $21 for shipping.
Oh, shipping is just dreadful. But that's across the board, unfortunately. I mean, I've sold vinyl, if we have like a stash of vinyl, and I've put them up for the fans, and the shipping's as much as the vinyl is.
Right.
It wasn't that way until maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, and it's just went ridiculous. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
Well,
within the States, of course, it's, you can do media mail and all this, and there's you get a discount, but international shipping is scary.
oh man, I tell you, I'm more than happy to pay more for the band to get more money, but for shipping, come on.
No, nobody makes money on that other than the shipping company, obviously.
So, how long did the working on the album take? Because just by looking at the dates, right, we had the pandemic in the middle. It felt like you guys worked faster, maybe?
It took a long time for Metal City to come out due to the various ups and downs of the recording and mixing process. And we wanted it to come out earlier. We actually wanted it to come out probably the end of 2019, and because of mixing issues and not getting the right guy, it was like they were going to have to postpone this to early 2020. Early 2020 comes along, it's like, okay, we're going to tour with this, and we had a tour set up with a couple of bands, and they couldn't commit, and it was just like, well, we're not going out unless we can do it right. Let's postpone it to September 2020, and then literally a week later, lockdown, boom. It's like,
Yeah.
oh. So we thought, we'll put it out. This nonsense will all be over by then. Of course it wasn't. But literally probably late 2019, I started writing before the pandemic and obviously during the pandemic. But we'd already, when this was delayed, it was like the next record is not going to take another 4 or 5 bloody years. There's no way. We have loads of great ideas. We know we're want to come up with more. Let's push and try and get it out quicker. And I'm really happy we did.
It was the band who did the production, right?
We did everything on this. This was very much in-house. Mike Heller, Mega Mike, our drummer, he's a very talented engineer, and he engineered the whole thing. So we did it at his studio. We had this guy, Lassie Lammert, who's a phenomenal talent and mixer. He did the mix for us. And, you know, as far as production, we know what we want, and we pushed each other to get the best performances out of each other. You know, cracked the whip on that. It's like, you know, just elevated the songs. We knew, you know, from the processes from the last two albums, from Extermination onwards, that putting the extra work, more work than's really necessary into the writing process. You know, we say, well, this is a cool song. How do you make it better? Even no matter how good, how do you make it better? This part here, is it too long? What about changing the melody right here? What about not playing right here? Even a gap, how, you know, all these little things, and just polishing and working on it. So that's like the craft part. But, you know, obviously you got to start with good ideas, and luckily we've got a lot of them.
Apparently.
It's never ending. So we ended up with about 30 songs for consideration to do this. And a lot of them were just further along than others. And it just became apparent that the album we wanted, which was 10 songs, about 35, 40 minutes, all killer, no filler, kick your ass, we were able to go, oh, well, this one would be a good starter, and this one would follow that. And we build the album, but, you know, listen to it and go, nah, that one doesn't quite fit, move this one around, and then have a great running order. And so it's not that the other songs were lesser. It was just that with the, you know, this group worked really well. So we ended up recording, I don't know, 18 songs.
Oh, okay.
2 of which were cover songs, which will be coming out on other projects later in the year, which I'm dying to let people check this out. It's fun, a lot of fun, right? It's good stuff. And then we had like a couple of songs we figured we'll need extra tracks for, you know, Japan and Outer Mongolia and where we got that. And that'll leave about 4 songs, of which it would actually work great as an EP. So we'll see what goes on down the line. And because they should come out. They're really good. They should come out too.
So you're talking about maybe a third covers compilation, something in that?
Oh, that's something else that we are clowning around with, another covers thing that we will eventually get to. Obviously, we wanted to concentrate on a new album.
Correct.
Because, you know, we don't want to be doing covers forever. But in between writing, the initial writing stuff for this, because when did we do? We did a big writing session at Mike's after playing China back in 2019, and a couple of ideas ended up on this record, but a couple of them were still, you know, still to go. And then we actually roughed up a whole bunch of covers, and some of them were the most, it was like, what is the stupidest song we could do? You know, there's the most, you know, vomit-inducing, ridiculous song, and try and make it fun and make it good. So we tried a few things like that, and, you know, we may, you know, that's a project we need to get back to.
So is there any song?
Nothing else, for the sheer comedy of it, yeah.
Is there any song that you can actually say that you may not?
No. I don't want to give any good ideas away. You know how it is with covers these days. That, you know, you're like, oh, I'd love to do that, and then somebody else has already done it or something, you know?
Oh, yeah, true. Back to the new album. So is it my ears, or do the drums sound, let's say, more complicated? In some parts they are faster, there are so many, should I say heavier? So
yeah, it's definitely heavier. It's probably overall a little more up-tempo. It's just the way we wanted this one in particular. And, you know, Mike was in at the ground floor on this one. That's the difference between this and Metal City. With Metal City, we already had the songs written.
Mm-hmm.
With this, we were throwing ideas at each other, and everyone was like, oh, that's cool, but it would fit with this. And Mike would go, I've got this riff. I can't play it, but it goes, you know, da 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 and stuff like that. And we, you know, it's amazing how many songs get written on the phone, just going la la la. You know, if you're stuck somewhere and you get an idea, sometimes, you know, inspiration strikes you at the strangest times.
I'm laughing because I watched the first part of the short documentary that you guys put out, and you are talking about these things about recording riffs on your phone. And now I'm very curious to learn what riffs were recording inside a airplane bathroom.
That's usually Mark. He's stuck there for so long, he's got to do something. I was sitting here last night with one of the songs that was kind of aborted during the last writing session because it didn't have a good enough chorus. And I was like, so now I have what sounds to be a good chorus. You know, those things, there's no expiration date on a good riff, you know?
Oh, no.
It's like, you know, the stuff in my head. I mean, I had one of Mark's riffs. This is such a cool riff, and it was literally 3 seconds off a tape, and it was always in my head from like the 80s. Wow. And I finally finished that song like 2 years ago. It didn't make it on the album, but it's a great song. And you know, these things happen. So you never know. You just keep plugging away, and it's like, this is nearly there, but there's something wrong. And if you can't figure it out, you put it on the shelf and you come back to it later. But, I mean, I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of song ideas on my phone that I haven't even looked at in 2 years or 3 years. So, you know, within then, there's got to be a couple of, you know, you hear and go, ooh, that could be something.
I hope you're backing up.
It's an interesting process, you know.
You're backing up those files.
Oh, yeah.
So even though Mike is the youngest member of the band, the album has a real old school feel. I don't know how you guys did that, but it took me all the way back to All for One, maybe, Wiped Out, maybe.
It's, you know, there's so many productions that are out these days that have this, you know, really bombastic, you know, overblown drum sound where it's all triggered, it's all samples, and it's all, you know, like impossible, almost like what there was in the 80s, but it's a version of that. And, you know, the guitars all sound the same, and it's the same deal. I mean, let's face it, there's, you know, one or two guys doing 90% of the metal stuff. So they all tend to sound the same other than the singer. That's about it. This is a lot more organic, for want of a better word. You know, the drums are real. And the way we do it, I mean, there's always that 20-30% of try something, the improvisational element. It's not like we've written the song, this is exactly the way it goes. It's at a certain point, it's just like, go nuts. Try a different fill on the drums, or a different fill on the bass, or do a little noise on the guitar, or all these. And those are the danger things, the things that make it exciting, the things that, you know, the things you want to hear live.
Yes.
You can bring that into a studio thing as well. It's like just adding sparks, lightning in a bottle, putting that stuff on, you know. So the energy thing is, you know, putting a Raven album or even a Raven song together, it's an exercise in putting, you know, it's like when you get two magnets and they're pushing against each other, you get it just right. So you've got chaos and you've got order, you've got melody and you've got noise, and you've got all these things, and when they're balanced out, you get something like Desperate Measures, which is crazy, completely crazy. But it's very melodic, and it's got hooks and it's catchy. And those things usually don't go together, you know. But we love that, where you've got structure and then bang, you're off, left turn, go crazy.
I love that you mentioned that song, Desperate Measures. And I will add Invasion, Go for the Gold. Those are, again, they do sound old school, but they have a fresh approach on those. And they're fast, heavy. So I hope you will be playing those three songs live.
Oh, it's always a bugbear. Which ones do you play live?
Play the entire thing. Play the entire thing, man.
Play the entire thing. Yeah, we might as well. I mean, the last two tours we did the Wiped Out album last year. Been doing the All for One this year. But of course, as soon as the new album comes out, we want to be playing some new songs. And then next year is the 50th, so we want to be digging back into catalogue and going, okay, let's do something off Life's a Bitch, for example, or just you can't do everything.
No.
But you can mix it up and go, here's a little walk through our career. Here's a couple of, let's do Lambs to the Slaughter.
Why not? Why not?
I'd love to do stuff like that. So that'll be fun. And then because of the pandemic, we didn't do Rock Until You Drop. So maybe we'll do Rock Until You Drop on the 45th anniversary, which I believe would be 2026. So we'll pencil that in.
And please do not leave Architect of Fear out. I love that album. I don't know.
Yeah, that's another album where we can definitely pull a song or two out of it. It's that was a big album for us.
Yes.
Big production, very heavy, and man, we toured a lot on that record.
Yeah, I saw you guys in Greece with that album.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yes.
They were two very special gigs, Thessaloniki and Athens.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
We're working to get back to Athens, actually. Let's see what happens. It's very difficult touring in Europe in the moment with all these cancellations and ridiculousness. So we've got a few festivals and we're putting a string of dates around them. We're doing a run in July.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a run in September. And hopefully in September there may be a gig in Greece or two. We'll see.
What about the US? When are you planning to start the touring cycle for the new album?
October is what we're looking at.
And both East and West Coast?
Oh yeah, the whole deal. We'll hit it hard. Like last year we did 43 dates. We did the full all the way around. And we had 3 days off. And they were travel days. So we hit it hard. But we'll be looking forward to getting out and doing that. And yeah, we'll try to hit everywhere. It's impossible to hit everywhere. If you want to hit everywhere, it'd be a 200, 300 day tour in the States, and you'd still miss places.
Correct.
So we'll try and get out and do as much as possible. And we always drive the agents nuts to say, more gigs, we want more. Now you want more? We go, yeah. Don't you want to do it? No. It is the gigs, because once you get into that routine, you get better and better and better and better, and it's just so good to be in that groove and just hit it hard. We love it. We live for it. It's great.
And these are words coming from someone who has been around for 50 years with Raven, right? Yeah,
and like you're implying, many bands that have been around as long as we have, they're done. They've had enough. They hate it, and it shows in what they do. It shows in how they play, and it's watered down. It's half-hearted, and people go, "Yeah, they were great. They weren't like they used to be, but they were great." It's like, I don't want anyone ever saying that about us. I just want them to say they were great, and 100%. Every show is the last show you'll ever do. That's the way we look at it. So it's got to be good.
I have found myself thinking so many times like that, seeing a band that I have seen so many times, and seeing them nowadays, it doesn't feel like that. And to me, it feels sad, because that's part of my growing up. Even though at the same time, I almost do not like seeing those big ass bands going around for maybe one live show per month, per week, and they do arena shows. That's unfair, man. That's unfair. And you have bands like Raven, like Anvil, touring their asses out, and yet, yeah.
Yeah, it's it's the way of the world. It's
I know.
the way it is. But
anyways,
I mean, you'll see some artists, and some artists. I mean, everyone gets old.
Of course.
Physically, sometimes when they get old, you can't do maybe what you did way back when. But that shouldn't diminish your excitement and your passion. I mean, look at somebody like John Fogerty.
Mm-hmm.
Better now than he was then. And the guy just goes on stage and lights up like a light bulb. And it's just like, yeah,
Yes.
The Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger, never stopped. Was he touching 80? Never stopped. It's just inspiring, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
And I would add the Gallagher brothers, man. Come on. Watching you guys still pushing...
You're talking about those two assholes from Manchester?
Watching you guys, watching Mark pushing you around, and then, come on, that's priceless. That's priceless. Did you use the 8-string bass on this one?
That's a very good question. Did I use the 8-string bass on this? I believe it's on All Hell's Breaking Loose.
Oof.
Yeah, I think it's on that one.
Who is doing the talking in the beginning of Medieval, and what is this song about?
Okay, that's Mike.
Okay, cool.
Rabbi Heller doing... I came up with that riff is in the middle of the song.
Mm-hmm.
It's the music that's there. And we just treated it, it's all basses treated with weird effects. And it sounds like a huge organ.
Right.
Yeah, organ. Oh, it sounds like a church. Oh, we need a sermon. Let's do and it's not one of these ridiculous long-winded intros that are so passé these days, But, the song Medieval, it's about revenge, getting your own back. And there was a lot of that in people's minds after having to deal with the pandemic.
And with people too.
So a little bit of that put into it, How would I love to string those people up very slowly and, chop them into little pieces, that kind of stuff.
That's what the song is about.
Well, I mean, you have things like that, and then you back off and you obscure stuff, because literally going on saying, I want to kill Fauci, that wouldn't be very appealing as a lyric,
No, please don't. Please don't.
You don't say stuff like that. You make the lyrics work, and it can work on different angles. And that's what's cool. When someone will come up, here's a great example. Years ago, guys talking about Tyrant of the Airways,
mm-hmm.
which is all about the Second World War, the Battle of Britain and all that. And he's going, no, it's all about how the British government restrict the radio waves in England.
Okay.
Like, if you say so, that works for me. That's
of
okay.
Of course.
So, that's a totally different take. There's many examples of that. I think probably the best one is Every Breath You Take by the Police, which is this lovely love song, and instead it's really about surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
So...
But again, that's the beauty.
You can work on 2 or 3 levels. That's great. That's what you want.
That's the beauty of going through the lyrics. You can translate them, if you may, whatever you want. And last one, Serve the Tsunami, is about Mike, because I think you have so many nicknames for Mike, but I think I read Drum Tsunami is Mike's other nickname.
That fits. We were calling it Serve the Salami off the time, Kind of had a filthier edge to it, I think. I don't know. That's about a little bit about what I was talking about before, about the narrative pushing you rather than you pushing the narrative. And you're riding a wave, and it could be a wave of good, like we're dealing with now, or it could be a wave of trouble and horror and crazy stuff, and you've just got to hang in.
Right.
Right. The only way out is through, as it were, You can't go back, you can't go sideways, you just got to keep going.
Yeah.
So a little bit of that into that as well. But that's fun, because I had this riff, and initially the demo was a lot slower. And of course, it was one of the things that way back when, the rough of this was like, we send it to Mike, like, I want to do drums at my studio. Oh, that means click track. We don't want to do that. He says, well, I don't do it the way most people do. He says, just send me a track and I'll show you what I can do. So we sent him, it was like verse chorus of that. And it was like amazing. I was like, whoa. But the riff was almost impossible to play. So I changed the riff. And now, if you just play the riff, it sounds like salsa.
Okay.
We're gonna have Carmen Miranda and trumpets and all this stuff. So it's weird how how you can come up with stuff like that. But the more the merrier.
Absolutely. John, thank you very much for your time. Give my regards to Mark and Mike, and hope to see you guys here in Chicago live.
Absolutely. Can't wait, man.
Have safe travels and stay safe in general.
See you then, brother.
Bye-bye.
All the best.